BBC Radio Berkshire with Amen Corner. This week we have been covering in the news something called Langar Week. Now, what exactly is this? Well, apparently more needs to be done to combat hunger in Slough, and at the Singh Gurdwara temple, amongst other temples, food is always free for anyone who needs it. And Langar Week is aiming at shining a spotlight on this free food service. The Slough MP Tan Desi joins me on the line now. Tan, good morning.
Good morning, Paul.
Hi, good to have you here. You've been out and about and involved in this week. What exactly have you been doing?
Yeah, so Paul, as you highlighted in your intro, Langar or community kitchen is a concept whereby Sikh Gurdwaras across the world are open to anybody anybody regardless of background or faith or colour or gender. They're open to everybody, and anybody can come along and have a free vegetarian meal, while sitting in, with the rest of the congregation. So that's it's Langar as an institution was set up in the 15th century by the founder of the Sikh faith, Guru Nanak, in the Punjab, which nowadays is just in northwest India. So that's the background to it, but it's more than just having a meal. There are other facets to Langar as well.
Like what?
So, for example, one of the reasons why the founder of the faith set up Langar was to eliminate inequality. So what actually happens if any of your listeners were to go into a Gurdwara, what they'll see is that everybody prepares the food together. So volunteers get together. All of the ingredients, by the way, are the whole way that the Langar is run is through community donations. But everybody prepares the food together. They serve it to anybody and everybody together, and they also eat on one level together. Because what happened several centuries ago as well, that there were people who wouldn't eat with others. They thought themselves superior. So what the Guru in essence said, that look, nobody's superior. Everybody's equal, and the best way that I'm going to get rid of some of these problems in society is by getting people to mingle, to prepare and serve and eat on one level.
Right, so it's important, that community coming together to prepare the meal. It's not just a question of here's a few bob, here's a hot meal on your way. It means much more to the community than that.
Definitely, it's about how we as a society are there, literally in it together, but also that everybody's equal, and it's about, as you said, it's about coming together. What the Guru also did was, it was meant to serve everybody, especially the more vulnerable in our community. He, for example, as the story goes, he was given 20 rupees by his father. So his parents said, well, look, you go and set up a business. In those days, 20 rupees was a big deal. So it's like how we would be given £20 or £20,000 today.
Mm-hmm.
But to set up that, but instead of just thinking about himself or setting up his own business, he, with that 20 rupees, bought some food, and he started serving it to the needy, as well as people of faith and others who were looking for food. So that's why amongst the Sikh faith they say, well, look, that 20 rupees is gone a long way. Several centuries later, Sikhs across the world are doing so today. If you actually went to the Golden Temple in the Punjab in Amritsar, there almost 100,000 free vegetarian meals are served every day to anybody and everybody who comes to that most sacred Sikh shrine.
Which is amazing. I suppose, though, Tan, thinking of going to Amritsar, it's in a country where social inequality is a given. It's taken for granted and has been for centuries. But here we like to think that maybe we shouldn't be in the situation where there's social inequalities. And this is a faith program. It's not a politics program. But you would understand if people listening to this might say, well, hang on, you're an MP, you're a Conservative MP with the government.
Labour. Paul.
Sorry, no, exactly. You're a Labour MP who could, my mistake, slip of the tongue. You're a Labour MP who could lobby the government. If the government had a fair social policy, then there wouldn't be the need for things like Langar Week, would there?
Well, look, I for one, am fully in agreement that we need to get rid of inequality. We need to have a more socially just society, but we need to work together to put pressure on the powers that be, and at appropriate times, whether we're in power or whether anybody else is. But one of the beautiful concepts is that we've got lots of good volunteers and lots of people who are making that positive difference in the community. For example, along to Langar Week, I also invited other organisations in Slough, for example, the Slough Food Bank. Now, I had visited them earlier and saw some of the superb work that they're doing, and they are also exemplifying that how faith can be a source for so much good. But as I learnt from the Slough Food Bank, we've got thousands of people who are coming there every year because they cannot afford to make ends meet. They cannot even afford to put a meal on the table. Now, it's not incumbent just on charities. For example, food bank usage has increased from about 40,000 now to about 1.2 million people just within the last decade alone. That is what's happening. So we as a society need to just sit back and think how we're going to tackle this, because it's just not good enough to be in one of the most prosperous, one of the most advanced nations on earth. If we're proud of our country, we also need to get rid of issues such as homelessness and social deprivation, and not even being able to put a meal on the table.
Right. Well, Tan, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Appreciate it. And that was Tan Desi there, the Slough MP, talking to us about Langar Week.